So first of all, I would like to kindly inform you how we structurize our tokenomics from the very beginning. So our master plan was pretty simple. We wanted to start with GameSwift listing at the very end of the bear market, because that's the time where it's really easy to stand out from the crowd. That was the time where it's much more easier to shine. And at the same time, this is creating a great opportunity to capture a new liquidity coming from the bull market. That's why we get our token listed on Bybit and on the other decentralized exchanges literally last year, at the end of July. And that was a perfect timing. I need to admit that that was a very good timing. At the same time, we knew that it is still a bear market. So we had to limit the inflation and we wanted to distribute it over some period of time. That's why private investors were subject to 6 months cliff, seed investors were subject to 12 months cliff. And the same goes with team tokens. It was literally the public sale and the airdrop that was entering the circulation in the first 6 months of GameSwift token listing. And that was a decent strategy. This gave us a lot of room to grow. However, it was also pretty hard, because I remember very good like the October or last year, when we fell from 15 cents down to 5 cents. A lot of people were like skeptical about the future of GameSwift. But that was the time when our narratives started to play. GameSwift modular blockchain, Web3 gaming, been back from the death. And thanks to this, we've been we experienced a massive growth. Let me show this on the chart, because maybe this will be easier for you to see this. Yes, so literally we've been listed on July last year. It was and then we reached our bottom at the end of September on 4 cents, and starting from then, that was like a very bullish price action. We grow until the end of December by 1,700%. And when you ask me about my personal feeling about this growth, this was definitely the overperformance. At the end of December, we reached $1 billion FDV, while we raised somewhere around $4 million. The total number of our sale in seed, private, and public is around $4.5 million. That's a big overperformance. Like, I need to say that I am proud of my team. I am proud of you, of our community, because that's our hard work, which basically led to this overperformance. However, we need to remember that this was still the overperformance. And probably our fair value at that time was somewhere in the middle. The market started the correction. In February, we've been down to 45%, but then in March, we've been back to our all-time highs, to $1 billion valuation. What is very important, somewhere here, here where you see the yellow line, the private sale started to unlock, but that was exactly the same time where our public sale and the airdrop stopped diluting, because after 6 months, airdrop and public sale have been fully distributed. So we can easily say that private sale changed the inflation from public sale and the airdrop. And as you can see, the chart and like the token accepted this additional inflation, and 2 months later we reached our all-time high territory again. But then, starting from late March, we experienced a very severe down trajectory. And when I check a lot of the other charts, they seem to act very similar. I don't know whether it's Matic, which reached their local top in March, or I don't know. Take a look at the link. Yes, most of the coins that we check, they reached their high territory somewhere around middle of March, and GSIT was no different to this. And my reasoning why this happened is mostly due to the fact that a lot of friends of mine, a lot of projects which raised their funding in 23, 22, they delayed, they postponed their listing by a year, by 2 years. And once they seen the growth from projects like GameSwift, when they see the growth from the other altcoins in anticipation of halving, in anticipation of Bitcoin ETF, they all started to say, yes, we're gonna make our listing somewhere around March, somewhere around the halving. I remember this very well because we are also advising a lot of projects. By the way, we listed Star Heroes. That's our own game that we produced, and we listed them exactly around March 12th, exactly in the local top. And that's why this airdrop was so effective. So I know that a lot of projects decided to make their listing there, and the problem is that the liquidity in the crypto market is still limited. The massive inflation of the new project listings, the new inflation of pretty quality listings, while the lack of liquidity led to for all of those, for a lot of those projects to go down. However, not every single sector performed like this, because when we check, I don't know, whatever project I check, for example, I don't know, Synapse Protocol, they also peaked in March, and from that time they've been bottoming all the way down. But not every single project were acting like this. When we check, for example, the meme coin sector, we see that actually in March they also had their local top. They bottomed around the April, but from the April till May they've been back to the positive growth trajectory. And that's why Miles Deutscher and a lot of the other analytics like to say that the reason for this negative price action is the inflation from those projects, from those tokens. The reality is that since there are a lot of projects, the old meta, and the old meta was based that there is a seed round, team round, they are entering the circulation slowly, and there's enough liquidity on the market to buy those tokens. Since then, those projects been performing pretty well. For example, I remember Matic, and when you check the Matic in the previous bull market, let me check it out. Yes. So for example, when you ask me when there was the biggest inflation of Matic token, it was exactly between March and December 21st. And when you see their performance, it didn't necessarily, let's say, affect their price action. That was the old meta, that basically we can have a lot of tokens in circulation, we can investing, but there is enough liquidity to accept this distribution. Now the meta is different. There is not enough liquidity in the crypto market. We can see this by, for example, this chart, especially when we compare it to the previous market cycle. Look where we are. We are somewhere like at least 68% under the top of the liquidity in the previous market cycle. This is a clear data which is showing that we are still like having not enough liquidity to bear this inflation of the new projects. And that's why meme coins have been performing so well, because they have a very good narrative. They are almost fully diluted. They market cap to FDV ratio is very positive. So from this, so even though the fundamentals are not that, let's say, fundamental, but the structure is very, very healthy. They don't have too much in investing. And in my opinion, one of the key reasons why GSwift is on the bottom trajectory in the recent days is this difference. When you compare like market cap, by the way, this market cap on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap is not showing this perfectly, but basically when any investor is doing their research on GSwift, the first thing that they start to recognize is that, okay, there is a big difference between market cap and FDV, meaning a lot of tokens are going to be dumped in the future. And obviously, we tried to let's say explain this to our investors, because like the big reason for this difference is our treasury, where 44% of our tokens have been locked under the DAO governance, and so far not a single token have been used from this source. But for the retail investors, or even for the common investors, that's the data which is very hard to find. Even if we try to explain this on every single town hall, we make our YouTube lives on a weekly basis, it is still very hard to understand. That's why we are slowly coming to the point where we need to do something about our structure, because without any update, any upgrade to our structure, we are risking that the new investors will be not eager to invest in GameSwift ecosystem, in GameSwift token. I believe we have a bright future ahead, but if you have a fundamental problem in your structure, then you might be missing out. And when you ask me, I feel that in the overall crypto market, we are somewhere in the bottom territory. I expect a positive performance of the crypto market in the next couple of months. But if we don't prepare as the GameSwift for this, let's say, increase of the liquidity, then we might miss out. That's why I want to present you a couple of very important upgrades. So first of all, we, as you perfectly are aware, we've just started the release of our seed round, and that was one of the major reasons of the GameSwift dump, the anticipation of the seed unlock. When I started going around the conferences, community meetings, so they've been very bullish around March, because we distributed a record-breaking airdrop of the Star Heroes token. We've been around $1 billion FDV at that time, but that was the time when first questions about what we're gonna do about seed round started to arise. And that was something very hard to address, because I didn't want to promise anything about price action. At the same time, I was perfectly aware that yes, we cannot deny that seed round is equal to almost 15% of our circulation, and that's a very important inflation which is going to come to the market. Obviously, if there was if everything goes according to the plan, we would gonna make it without any problems, because the initial plan for the GSwift tokenomics was, like I said, to start in the bear market, then slowly, while entering into the bull market, slowly increasing the inflation ratio. That's why the biggest inflation was supposed to come around July 24, which is the inflation from seed, since we predicted that after the April, after the halving, there will be some post-halving correction, and somewhere in July, somewhere in the summer, we expected the rise of the overall crypto market. That's that's what happened almost every single cycle, and that's how the GSwift tokenomics have been structurized. However, so far we see that there is still not enough liquidity. In my opinion, we are at the bottom of the liquidity, but still we need to do something about this inflation. So the first news is regarding, and basically before I'm going to get into the perfect details, I just want to, I wanted to give you the background. So now you understand how GSwift tokenomics have been planned, why we started with the low circulation, why the major inflation increase was planned for this time. You also understand the concerns from the investors. I know that there are a couple of minor things, like another point which comes to my mind is that maybe a lot of people expected more airdrops to come. And I perfectly aware of this. However, I believe that you understand the reason, but let me remind this one more time. The major reason for this is that all of those projects which declared to distribute their airdrop to GSwift stakers, they decided to delay their listings. And I think you know exactly why. There's basically a lot of blood in the market. Even a very healthy and a very fundamental projects that I know, they've been performing pretty bad in the recent days. So those airdrops were not cancelled, they were simply delayed. So, but I'm also aware of this reason. However, the major one is this inflation from the seed and the difference between FDV and market cap ratio, because that's the fundamental reason, that's the fundamental problem that we need to address. So whatever I'm going now to announce is having the aim to address those things. So what you can expect in the upcoming, in this week, probably I'm going to announce this on Wednesday town hall, is the great campaign around GSwift tokenomics when we want to fix what I said. And this upgrade is going to be basing on 3 pillars. The first one is going to regard the seed round. So the bullish news is that we are going, is that the GameSwift protocol, the GameSwift ecosystem is generating revenue. We decided to make a very bold move, and I don't know many other ecosystems to do something like this, but we decided to take advantage of our revenue and to buy 60 million tokens from the seed round and to burn them out. So basically what we did is that we approached several seed investors. We offered them to buy their seed tokens. And we are happy to announce that we successfully purchased the tokens worth for the seed round price $543,000, and their actual value is $4.9 million. So we basically bought the tokens worth nearly $5 million, which is 30% of the whole seed round. And so this is a very, very bullish news that I'm leaking right now to you, is that we basically are decreasing the inflation from the seed round by 1/3. This is literally 30% of the whole seed round that we are buying back and burying. That's a very bold move. I don't know many other ecosystems to do such a big such a big, let's say, movement and sacrifice to the healthiest of tokenomics. The second point, which is also very important, is going to regard this community fund and ecosystem fund. So as I said, this is in total 44% of the total supply. That's the biggest pool across the whole tokenomics. And the initial idea is to create this as a treasury. with the general purpose of distributing this back to the projects building in GameSwift ecosystem. However, I need to admit that in the past 2 years, I've been traveling all around the world, speaking with the founders of a lot of other ecosystems. And the idea and the feedback that I received is basically the grant program are not effective. There are a lot of projects expecting to just farm the grants and to move out to the other ecosystem. A lot of them are scams. A lot of them are not putting a real value into the projects. And that's the experience that I gathered from Polygon, from Aleph Zero, from Phantom. Like two weeks ago, I met with Phantom founder. All of them are saying simply the same, that those grant programs are not performing well. So you might ask, so what's your strategy to onboard projects? The answer is pretty simple. Since we've got a very unique experience, because when you think about it, our team has successfully listed so far 3 projects, which was Startera in July 21st, right? That was 50x and 40x for all investors from seed across the whole vesting period. So I really wish you to have same performance across your whole vesting period. That was a massive score. Then we delivered GSwift while raising $4.5 million, we reached $1 billion FDV, which is also the overperformance. And we also contributed to the listing of Star Heroes, which raised $2.5 million and crossed in its peak $300 million. Of course, I know that Web3 gaming is bleeding right now. Star Heroes is also part of this. However, the truth is that we delivered 3 consecutive listings where our seed investors have experienced a very nice growth. Everybody from the public sale and from the airdrop also recognize a very good growth. So that's the know-how that a lot of projects are happy to be shared, and that's why we incubate a lot of projects. When you go to our treasury, then you can see only some portion of the projects that we are incubating, but please believe me, there are more of them. And since we advise them, since we incubate them, then we have a say in what ecosystem they are going to choose. So by over delivery, by a very individual approach, we are expecting to onboard those projects and not relying only on money factor, because our experience is that it is not effective long term. So speaking of devil, speaking of this committee and ecosystem fund, we are going to burn 75% of this of those tokens. The rest, which is 25%, is going to stay and will enter the circulation. So in this way, we are like we are burning 1/3 of the total supply of GSwift, which is a very bold move, and we are releasing the rest. Right now, as you can see, they are sitting on the wallet. And we don't do anything about them since we are not believing in grant programs that much. However, there might be a lot of the other ideas from the committee to what to do with those tokens. Anyway, 1/3 of this, 1/3 of this, sorry, 75% of this, which is 1/3 of the whole total supply, will be burned, and the rest will stay in the DAO governance. When you ask me, we are going to gather your feedback. What are your plans to do with the resting 25% from this pool? We don't let's say exclude the possibility that we are going to burn the rest of them. However, we don't want to make any steps which are inevitable, right? Let's be honest. I've just told you that we are going to buy 1/3 of the seed round, right? That's a very bold move. Now to burn 75% of the treasury, that's another bold move. So we don't want to make moves that we are going to regret. That's why we prefer to delay this 25 to wait with the resting 25%, gather your feedback, and then decide. However, this is one of the biggest bearing that's definitely the biggest bearing in GameSwift history, when 1/3 of the FDV will inevitably be vanished from the circulation. And what is super cool is that we are affecting not only the tokens from the FDV, which is the treasury, because that's important from the investor point of view, who come to CoinGecko, to CoinMarketCap, who see the difference between FDV and market cap. This will definitely address his concerns. But in this program, by purchasing 1/3 of the seed round, we're also addressing the concerns from the rest of the people who check and who see that seed investors are receiving their tokens right now, who see that a lot of, because let's be honest with each other, guys, I'm also curious. I'm guessing that you are part of a lot of seed rounds in this bull market cycle, and I'm pretty sure that having 9-10x on GameSwift is across one of the best performances in your portfolio, because my experience is that most of the seed rounds in this bull market cycle are not performing that well. A lot of them are bleeding, and people know about it. So people are afraid that since you are sitting on 10x territory on your seed investment in GSwift, that you might have a very big incentive to dump it, right? That's why it's, in my opinion, that was very important to address this concern, and that's why we decided to buy and burn 1/3 of this pool. So that's the second stage. And the third and the final one is our team tokens and operational tokens. That's the pool which is also starting circulating. So we are also going to burn somewhere between 10 to 20% of the team tokens. This is the foundation. Of course, they are on the very long vesting, 36 months from now, but it is still some portion of the concern. So we want to address also this. I made a pretty smart move that I decided to not distribute all of the team tokens right away. I kept somewhere around 4% to be distributed in the future. And that's why we have some space left to burn them and to address the concerns from the community. So that's a that's another very good news for the crypto investors. So long story short, after this upgrade, or let's say before this upgrade, the circulating supply of GSwift was somewhere around 12-13%. After those changes, we are going to definitely cross 50%. So more than half of the GSwift supply will be in circulation. So the market cap to FDV ratio will be much more positive. Right now, so that's the first bullish news. We are also going to update CoinGecko on that, so people will see that the difference between market cap and FDV will be much smaller. Probably, I'm not sure what our marketing team is going to decide, whether we are going to announce all the 3 pillars on Wednesday, or we are going to spread this over some certain period of time. But I want you to know those changes, because this will probably also influence your personal investment decision. I don't want to say please do not sell GSwift. That's your personal decision. What I can say is, even though that I'm also sitting on my personal seed investment in GameSwift, even though that I'm having my personal team tokens to be released, I'm not planning to sell them until the end of this year, because I'm expecting the next couple of months to be very bullish. And when more of the investors are going to decide, if we will be able to send a clear message to the rest of the investors that GSwift is backed to the growth trajectory, then we have a very big space for growth. So that's why I'm not planning to take my profit right now. I'm playing for the revival, because I believe that we have a very big space for this revival. However, all I can say is that we made a very certain decisions and upgrades to also kindly persuade you to consider do the same. Because if we all are going to decide to delay our selling decision for the next couple of months, then we'll send a very good message for the rest of the investors, and we shall be back to the liquidity. We shall be back to the more positive trajectory, especially that what I am playing for is that we are somewhere in the bottom of the liquidity. I expect this liquidity to be back to the previous all-time high. And that's why I believe that a lot of projects that decided to distribute their airdrop to GSwift stakers, they are going also to release their tokens in Q4 this year. That's why we might expect that in a very short time period, GSwift will be subject to the major upgrade to its tokenomics. We are going to burn 1/3 of the total supply, 1/3 of the seed round. The market cap to FDV ratio will be much more positive. A lot of airdrops shall be distributed when the market will be back in Q4. The chain mainnet will be also live at that time. So that's what I am personally playing for. If you feel that you need some extra summary, our team might prepare this for you. Obviously, I'm going to speak with my team on that. So, guys, this is a very short brief of our upgrades that we plan. Burn the shit down. I'm reading your questions. 25% will be airdrop. No, Joseph. That's not what I said. What I said is basically 44% is of the let me write it. 35% of the total supply is treasury. 75% of that will be burned. 25% will stay and enter circulation, but not airdropped. It will stay under governance. Yeah, that's the plan. Another news that another summary is, let me write about seed round buyback. We successfully bought back 60 million GSwift tokens from seed round. Their seed value is for $540. share current value is $4.9 million. It is 30% of it is 30% of the whole seed round. Yeah. And this is buyback and burn. So that's another summary, guys. I think that yeah. So you don't need summary anymore. I just gave it to you. I want to see faces of these idiots from GS Discord chat. Like, guys, you know, I don't want to call anyone idiots or retards. Everybody is a human being, and I know what people feel. Imagine that you buy anything from the crypto market in March this year. You're probably pissed. You start to seek and treat everybody as the enemies. The market from March this year is a little bit fucked up, right? And trust me, it is very hard for me to read these comments because we are perfectly aware that that whatever we are going to post at this time, it's not going to affect the crypto market. By the way, in April this year, we announced the strategic cooperation with NVIDIA around the GS Force AI, and nobody cared about it. Nobody. Like, of course, we had a lot of views, but the chart didn't care about it at all. We just started our testnet, right? Nobody cared. One of the reasons for this is maybe people being afraid about the seed release. That's why we're affecting. We treat this as our priority. However, like, that's like the peak of the disbelief from the crypto community. Whatever chat, whatever project that I'm checking, I've had a meeting with Aleph Zero founder 2 weeks ago, and the emotions around. By the way, take a look at the Aleph Zero as well. That's a very fundamental project as well, and take a look at their price action. The people are also very angry there. I think I'm not sharing my screen, so maybe let me show this to you. People are also angry with them. People very easily forget about the performance of those projects. So I've heard about conspiracy theories about GSwift, that there is a big dispute between our team members, that the board meeting is conflicted, the board is conflicted. It's obviously the joke. I'm just like trying to kindly remind you that during this kind of disbelief, there are a lot of conspiracy theories. A lot of people start to think that maybe, I don't know, maybe Panparagraph fucked it up and dumped his tokens. I'm gonna be honest with you. The only GSwift tokens that I personally sold were in the Q4 last year. I monetized some portion of my airdrop that I received as the STT holder, but starting from December last year, I didn't sell a single GSwift token. And still, like, a lot of conspiracy theories is that maybe it was different. No, like, I'm pretty transparent with this. So that's the reality. But since people are disbelievers, we are going to show them this, like, very, very transparent data. 60 million GSwift tokens purchased back and burned from the seed round, 75% of the treasury to be burned. That's a very bold move. You need to really have cojones for this burning. I really feel sorry for Tom Kowalczyk, as he needs to press the enter button while entering this, because we obviously going to vote on this. Everybody will vote for, but it will be Tom to click the enter button, right? So yeah, that's it must be live on Town Hall. Yeah, we are going to bring him like the special helmet of the firefighter. It's weird since NGL is almost wrecked, but the community is so bullish there on Discord. I hope it will be the same in GS1 a day. Yes, like NGL is entangled, right? It's really strange for me because I know that like they had a very big conflict with Borpa. So imagine that we had a conflict with Doginhood, and Doginhood is accusing GameSwift of dumping Doginhood tokens. We are parting ways now. We are enemies, and people. Do you think people would be still bullish about GameSwift? I am doubting this. I am doubting this. So I think our community is expecting much more from us than from the other projects. That's what I feel, because I remember in March we distributed the record-breaking airdrop. Show me like the other token that you could stake to receive the airdrop, which is comparable to the airdrop of Star Heroes. People staking GSwift in Whalecraft or GSP, they printed like 6 figures airdrop that time. I think that maybe Celestia was close to this performance, but this is the project from top 100 market cap. We are GameSwift like from top 500, right? So that was a record-breaking move, and it was in 12th of March. But in May, people started to say, no more airdrops. Fuck you. One paragraph, you promised more airdrops, and there are no more airdrops. This is a scam. So our committee is expecting much more from us. This is like putting a pressure on me, and it's good. It's good. Wait, there's no more airdrops? No, like I'm just quoting, I'm just referring what the other people used to say about GameSwift while not receiving the next airdrop. The airdrops are simply delayed. Like I think that the next airdrop to be distributed will be the Doginhood. At least my recommendation to the Doginhood team is to make their listing late August, because I'm feeling in my guts, guys, and I'm in this market for a while. I listed Startera to $100 million market cap back in July 2021, and I'm feeling kind of similar feeling like at that time that August might be good. That's why I believe, I'm hoping, and I'm advising to Doginhood team to make their listing in August. And I think this is the airdrop which might print quite a lot. Of course, that's not financial advice, but the good thing about the airdrops is that if one airdrop is not going to perform, then we have the other in the pipeline. And it's good, Seb, that you're asking about Chain for Energy. Take a look. They made their airdrop in May, or it was April or May. Please correct me what was the exact date. And it was like the bad move. My recommendation, because that's something very important to remember. Even if we advise some projects, the final decision is on their side. My recommendation was not to list that time, but still they decided to do this. And now this airdrop is sitting on our treasury, and we might do the distribution, but this will be a small cents. I wanted to sell small pennies, but pennies sounds like the cock. So I meant basically that it's not worth a lot. And that's a perfect example why all the other projects from our treasury delayed their listing, right? So that's another thing, guys. Two projects. I want to also speak a little bit about how I envision the future of GameSwift chain. So right now, I am focusing on the advisory and incubation of the projects building on GameSwift chain. we are slowly approaching the point where most of the technological roadmap of GameSwift is going to be delivered, because the chain is during successful testnet, looks like everything works smoothly. From the technical point of view, let's be honest, we are ready for the mainnet. We are just delaying this, waiting for like the better liquidity and the environment. The GS Force AI is also like 90% ready. So from the GameSwift point of view, most of the things were delivered, like the platform, the launcher, right? And now it's the time for me and the team to focus on incubation of the new projects and the strategic advisory. So we try to onboard best of the best projects, best of the best funders building in the crypto space, and we are hunting for them very, very hard. We don't want to focus on the volume, on the amount of those projects. We want to focus on the quality. And there are basically two sectors that we are focusing. The first one is the DeFi sector and RWA. So we are seeking for the projects to generate a very good yield on the stablecoins. In my opinion, one of the major reasons for Terra to grow is that they had their anchor protocol. Of course, it was not sustainable, right? But it created the whole TVL, the whole DeFi ecosystem around their chain. And that's why Terra in its peak reached top 2 on DeFi Llama in terms of in the chain TVL category. So we are seeking for the protocol which is going to offer the best yield, the yield which is going to be better than on the other chains for the stablecoins, because in this way we want to onboard a lot of stablecoins to our chain, and in this way those stablecoins might be used for something else, which is, for example, buying GSwift token. And I'm happy to say that right now we are onboarding the product which is going to be able to offer somewhere around 12% yield on their on all stable coins, which is USDC, USDT, without KYC. And according to my belief, this is like the best score across the other chains. I made the research about the RWA protocols, DeFi protocols. There is, for example, Goldfinch, which is the RWA protocol. They generate 9% on USDC. This protocol will be able to generate 3% more. And what is very important, this is going to be 12% stable yield, which is good, because I believe that we are entering lowering lowering rates environment. So I expect those rates on stable coins across all the other chains to go down. And this is why it's important to find a protocol which is going to help you secure the value of your stable coins during low interest rates environment. Right now, you can generate some around 5% on US Treasury bonds. That's why Ondo Finance was pretty successful. But on corporate bonds, and that's what Goldfinch is offering, or Soil Protocol and many others, you can generate some around 8 to 9%, right? That's going to be reduced by 50% in next year. I have no doubt about it. And the good thing about this protocol is that they will be able to keep this 12% over the next year and the next year, as they generate this from sustainable business, generating very good revenue with the contractors secured for the next couple of years. But more details on that in the future. So that's the first sector that I am focusing. And the second sector is obviously the gaming, right? Like, we are GameSwift, we are gaming chain, so we want to onboard best of the best. Although, and that's very important disclaimer right now, very important one. The deal that I shared with this RWA is the deal which is deal done, right? The next one that I'm going to share is not the deal done. This is probably one of the biggest deal in Web3 gaming history. So I expect that anytime this might be off the table, something might go wrong, but I'm just that's why I'm not going to reveal the exact name of this game, but I just want to say that the most successful TV series around Mafia in the last 10 years is we are in the negotiation process with them as they are building a very big game on Web3 gaming. And this is going to be, first of all, and I have no doubt about, once being listed, this will be the biggest Web3 gaming title ever, and the first one to have potential to reach the mainstream media attention, because this TV series has such a big audience that they will automatically become the gamers. If we are going to secure this deal, in my opinion, GameSwift shall reach the valuation that we reached in March or January this year. That would be the fair value of GSwift, in my opinion, because there is no other ecosystem to have the deal like this. However, I need to say that although we are like on the pole position to reach this deal, it is still like under the negotiation process. It's basically all about the license, the price to be paid for the license, and I might say that I expect the probability ratio to get this deal done is somewhere around 50%. Actually, I treat Peaky Blinders as mafia or gangs, like crime TV series, right? However, I don't want to refer to any exact. I don't want to say whether it's Godfather, Mafia, or Peaky Blinders. For me, I can say that it is one of those three. it is one of those three. And it's not Maciej from Clan. It's not Maciej from Clan. That would be funny, right? Yeah, it's about Patrick Vega and people. Yeah. So if you didn't watch Godfather, Peaky Blinders of Mafia, maybe it's time to do it. So I'm just like teasing you guys. We could spend here hours, days, weeks, etc. But I just wanted to share that we are basically working still very hard. This work might be not visible due to the fact that we don't want to reveal it. We don't want to publish bullish announcements in the bearish market territory because people don't care about it. However, this week will be different. We're going to approach a very strategic marketing campaign where we want to tell all the world that GSwift tokenomics will be healthy again, that we want to make it healthy, that we want to reduce the selling pressure from the seat, from the team, that we want to reduce the difference between market cap and FDV by burying a significant portion of our total supply. That's everything will be revealed. And what I can say, I will really appreciate your support. It will be needed because we want to spread this news across the Twitter, across the people who are disbelieving, who are a little bit skeptical, and this is pretty normal. We just need to keep working. I feel that we are in a very similar moment, like in the end of September last year. We need to be working hard. We need to be visible, and the time to basically take advantage of the fruits that we generate over the time will definitely come. That's why I will never tell you, please do not sell GSwift token. All I can say is that please consider delaying this, as I believe that you might reach the better liquidity in the next couple of months. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you, guys. If you feel that we need more conversation like this, if you feel that you have more questions like this, please let me know. Let know our team. I would be also very happy to gather some feedback. So Sekal, Derek, Michael, Sky, I would really appreciate if you could gather some feedback after this meeting. I want to know what you think about this, and we'll see. Maybe you have more questions. Maybe we need more meetings like this. Let me know. Thank you, guys, and please don't start believing, because at the end of the day, there are not many teams like ours. We successfully listed in July 21st. Then we sacrificed the collapse of the whole Terra chain. Then we've been back, airdropped all the previous stakers. So we survived all the bear market while 90% of the projects on Terra disappeared. We are not ragging our liquidity like some projects in the crypto space. We are just working hard, and we are only humans. We have also our human being problems, but anybody can say that we are not putting a lot of effort and a lot of money, because this buyback from the seed round is a very significant portion of our revenue, and we are risking a lot to make our tokenomics healthy. We are putting a lot of effort to buy back 30% of the seed round, but I believe and I hope that the community will appreciate this. Thank you, guys. Keep working.